Welcome to Bedtime Lore and Chill with Shausen. I am Shausen. My intent is to create an informational video series on Star Citizen lore, which is more relaxing than entertaining. The purpose is to help those lacking the time, but otherwise interested, ingest the lore while resting. Suggestions and constructive feedback are always welcome. If you enjoy this content and would like to see more, please like and subscribe. The Stanton System Overview. Stanton has a single G-type main sequence star, a diameter of 5 astronomical units, 4 planets, 1 asteroid belt, and 3 jump points. It is the only known system to have 4 planets residing in the human habitable green zone. All 4 planets have undergone limited terraforming and have flora and fauna with divergent ecologies. These planets are corporate-owned, while still belonging to the United Empire of Earth, commonly referred to as the UEE. Settlement of Stanton. Even without the inevitable human intrusion, Stanton would have been an anomaly, boasting a wide green zone and 4 especially large human-suitable biospheres, requiring limited terraforming. The system is, from a cosmological perspective, unusual. Star systems as habitable as Stanton are extremely rare. Meanwhile, the divergent ecologies on Stanton's 4 worlds are of significant interest to scientists of all stripes. The first settlers are unknown, and its initial discovery is owed to an unnamed free agent trader. After selling the jump data to the UEE, official records credit Toshi Aaron with discovering the system through the Magnus Stanton jump point in 2851. The Empire declared Stanton to be a case of eminent domain, citing the potential of its wide habitable zone and the importance of its jump points for interstellar trade. Without formal colonization papers on file, the existing inhabitants had little choice but to abandon their homesteads, as this mix of prospectors, survivalists, and other squatters didn't stand a chance against the might of the UEE Navy. Once UEE pathfinders surveyed the system, they made another significant discovery: a large jump point connecting Stanton directly to Terra. As UEE naval engineers assessed what terraforming would be required to make the planets habitable, bureaucrats met behind closed doors to debate what to do with the system. Options included dedicating it to the military and/or government, or even holding a land claim lottery to populate the 3 super Earths. Yet, the problem with all these ideas was funding, as making a full use of the system would take substantial credits that the Empire did not have available. As the usage debates continued, temporary measures were taken. Approval was granted to begin minimal terraforming on Stanton 1, 3, and 4. Meanwhile, the Navy dedicated funds towards the construction of a shipbuilding latticework on Stanton 2's upper atmosphere, with the goal to produce capital ships for the protection of the system. All this occurred with little fanfare or any official word to the public. In 2865, the UEE made a shocking announcement that the Stanton system would be sold piecemeal to the highest bidders. At that time, the UEE was having financial problems due to a combination of regular operating costs, their struggles with the Vandul, and the staggering costs of Project Archangel, a government attempt to create synthetic worlds. As the UEE could not afford to develop Stanton on their own, a Senate session was called. Megacorporations had been quietly contacted during the terraforming process and asked to bid for their own planets. Years of confidential negotiations with Hurston Dynamics, ArcCorp, and MicroTech followed. The original plan left Stanton 2 as a Navy shipyard until a last-minute offer from Crusader Industries was too good to refuse. The winners flushed trillions into the UEE coffers for what essentially turned into a down payment on the synth world. The megacorporations moved in slowly but surely, and the system became fully industrialized. The 4 worlds are now dotted with factories, corporate headquarters, testing ranges, mines, and other company facilities. Most residents of the Stanton system work for these corporations, or anyone leasing their space, and inhabit glorified company towns. Today, Stanton is a great place to travel if you're interested in the materials produced by several of the galaxy's most successful corporations, or if you think you can make a profit shipping these companies the goods they need to keep working. The people of Stanton are protected by the UEE common laws. These are the fundamental personal freedoms enjoyed by everyone in the UEE, whether a citizen or a civilian. These cover things like standardized safety practices, health services, basic education, trade, travel, and security. The planets of Stanton. Stanton 1, Hurston. Hurston is a terrestrial super-Earth and Earth analog in the Stanton system. According to Chris Roberts, it has a diameter of 2,000 kilometers in-game, which equates to 12,000 kilometers in the lore. Hurston's primary landing zone and home to the corporate headquarters for Hurston Dynamics is the city of Lorville. Arriving there at Tisa Spaceport, visitors will also be greeted by an impressive display of ships that are available for purchase using a UEC. Hurston is orbited by 4 moons: Ariel, Aberdeen, Eta, and Magda, as well as a space station, Everest Harbor. Hurston also has 5 R&R rest stops floating among asteroid fields of mining claims across a handful of Hurston-owned Lagrangian points. These include Green Glade Station, Faithful Dream Station, Thundering Express Station, Melodic Field Station, and High Course Station. Hurston is home to Hurston Dynamics, an aristocratic family-run weapons manufacturer that has bled their world dry. The Hurston family executives, ever steeped in controversy, are routinely chastised by civil rights advocates. They are known to control their workers with an iron fist. However, these executives, whose lifestyles are entirely distinct and separate from the common employee, live in luxury. They have managed to keep their adherence to the common law in line enough to stay clear of direct legal trouble, but only just. Stanton 1's ecosphere has been largely destroyed, with almost all indigenous life killed by mining and manufacturing processes. Hurston builds several lines of reliable weapons, and pilots looking for specialized guns might do well to visit there. The planet also produces a variety of munitions sold to other companies, and transport assistance work is often available. Hurston is always in need of cheap labor, and workers are imported for year-long factory or mining contracts. Few of these choose to re-up. The company strictly regulates what consumer products can be brought in. Haulers caught with unauthorized items risk losing them at customs or even jail time. Stanton 2, Crusader. Crusader is a low-mass gas giant that has a breathable atmosphere at high altitudes. Home to Crusader's primary landing platform, commercial hub, and shipyard complex, Orizon is a breathtaking city among the clouds, offering shopping plazas, services, and scenic gardens. Crusader is orbited by 3 moons, which are named after 3 siblings from the children's morality tale, A Gift for Baba: Selen, Yella, and Delamar, which is also home to the famous Delamar Rally. The space station, Port Olisar, is located in the trade lanes above Crusader and offers a breathtaking view of the planet below. Owned and operated by Crusader Industries, Port Olisar acts as a gateway to the company's vast planetary holdings and orbital shipyards. Crusader is also orbited by a scan hub for the Imperial Cartography Center. 3 R&R rest stops can be found among various Crusader Lagrangian points, along with some mining claims. Taking advantage of the high-altitude, breathable atmosphere, the planet became home to a military-constructed latticework of habitable floating platforms. Not only does this create an ideal view of amazing vistas and beautiful sprawling cloudscapes. The platforms proved to be ideal for Crusader. Normally, their large-scale commercial transport ships would otherwise need to be built beyond the atmosphere. Being constructed in open air allows the cost of these ships to be reduced by almost 40% on the back end, which is often passed along to consumers. Once Crusader Industries took over, these platforms were expanded upon to suit their production needs. The company also built quality housing for their employees in habitats woven into the latticework itself. The portion of the world available to visitors is considered by many to be the nicest port in the system. The shipyards themselves are eerily beautiful, with huge transport ships suspended in mid-atmosphere, surrounded by a lighted webbing of Crusader facilities. In direct contrast to Hurston, Crusader has fixated on making this a fun place for people to visit. With travel being an important part of their business, they have created a family-friendly travel hub and destination. Despite these efforts, Crusader has been suffering from a rise in crime recently due to an outlaw pack known as the Nine Tails. Consequently, there has been some political fallout due to Crusader publicly misrepresenting their crime statistics. Stanton 3, ArcCorp. ArcCorp is a super Earth in the Stanton system owned and terraformed by the ArcCorp Corporation. In just 80 years, nearly all of the terrain of the planet has been sculpted, zoned, and built upon. Area 18 is one of the main commercial ports for interplanetary traffic for the surrounding region and the site of ArcCorp Tower. Travelers can find a variety of goods from trusted names as well as local providers if they are not overwhelmed by the sights and sounds of this landing zone. ArcCorp is orbited by 2 moons and a geostationary space station. These are named Lyria, Walla, and Bygini Point. One R&R rest stop, the ironically named Wide Forest Station, can be found at the first of ArcCorp's 5 Lagrangian points. Some argue that ArcCorp is the system's most visually impressive world, while the other planets, even polluted Hurston dynamics, retain some indication of their natural origins. ArcCorp is now nearly an entirely constructed world. Almost all of the terrain has been sculpted, zoned, and built upon, leaving only its mountain ranges and large bodies of water left for nature. ArcCorp builds thrusters and quantum drives in bulk for hundreds of thousands of civilian spacecraft every year. Traders porting at ArcCorp are advised that in addition to deals on these components, they can find just about anything else here. ArcCorp is absolutely indiscriminate about who they lease property to, and hundreds of smaller companies have made their home on the world. Anthropologists familiar with the Xi'an have posited that ArcCorp is the closest human equivalent to a Xi'an factory world, and many predict that our civilization may someday evolve along the same lines. Stanton 4. MicroTech. MicroTech is a large and generally cold planet. The temperature is the result of an error during the UEE terraforming process, which led to unusually dense cloud production. Enclosed to protect the inhabitants against the freezing elements, New Babbage is a major social and economic trading hub on MicroTech. Although it features MicroTech's flagship store, the landing zone is a haven for smaller tech companies as well. MicroTech is orbited by 3 moons: Calliope, Clio, and Euterpe, as well as Port Tressler, a space station held in geostationary position above New Babbage. MicroTech's Lagrangian points include the Shallow Frontier Station. MicroTech produces Mobiglass here, a now standard piece of digital assistive technology used by nearly everyone in the empire. Although Mobiglass has become their ubiquitous product, MicroTech manufactures a wide variety of electronics, including those found in ship systems. Space on the world is leased to smaller companies, including some of MicroTech's competitors, which solidified the planet's reputation as the place for cutting-edge tech research and development. Buyouts among successful Stanton 4-based startups are common. Though largely covered in mountains and ice sheets, several temperate tundra zones exist due to deep geothermal activity. These beautiful green biomes are popular vacation spots for camping and hiking among the local population. In these areas, you can find evergreens, wildflowers, grasses, and lichen growing throughout the year. Grim Hex. Grim Hex is a former housing exchange, known as a hex, originally named Green Imperial, hidden deep in the Yela asteroid belt. Originally built to house workers, it has now fallen under the control of criminals. Grim Hex does not appear on the star map. Like all housing exchanges, Grim Hex was built into a hollowed asteroid soon after the system's discovery. It was constructed for mining purposes, but was later abandoned and is now poorly maintained. Its former clientele changed, and so did the station. The housing exchange closed officially in 2938, but it is still operated by its new inhabitants, consisting of outlaws, criminals, pirates, and other lowlifes. In addition to standard landing pads, the asteroid station also contains hangars. Due to its vertical nature, elevators are used to traverse the base. It has an illegal gambling ring and racing course as well. The Aaron Halo asteroid belt. Located between Crusader and ArcCorp, the Aaron Halo is a high-density, torus-shaped asteroid belt making quantum travel through it nearly impossible. Though not implemented into the game at this time, travel through the belt will eventually require passage through one of the ArcCorp-owned Aaron Halo gateways. Currently, the Aaron Halo is accessible to anyone within the verse. With no jump point available for quantum traveling, citizens can visit the asteroid belt by quantum traveling from Hurston to ArcCorp or vice versa and disengaging their quantum drives while passing through the belt as portrayed on the map through their mobiglass. Delamar. Delamar is a natural dwarf planet-sized asteroid hidden deep in the Glacium Ring in the Nix system, although presently accessible within Stanton. The current settlement, a once abandoned mining facility named Levski, was formed by free thinkers during the oppressive Messer era and remains a hotbed for political radicals and anti-UEE sentiment to this day. As the place to hide reputation of the Nix system has expanded, an increasing number of criminals have moved in, the result being an ongoing conflict between small criminal groups and political radicals who feel that outright illegal activities undermine their message. Delamar can be visited by anyone passing through the system, although there is a strong sense of paranoia. Everyone involved in running the station seems perpetually afraid of a massive police raid, which they believe is constantly moments away from happening. The truth is that the planetoid is so well hidden and so difficult to reach that the UEE has never seriously considered dispatching forces to eliminate it. Not to mention the fact that the dissidents remaining are fairly toothless, generally coming off in the media as protesting the government simply for the sake of protesting. Benny Hinge. Considered somewhat of an Easter egg, Benny Hinge is a unique location located in the Stanton system. The trail begins at Port Olisar, where the player may start by locating 2 datapads and follow the clues from there. Thank you for joining me for Bedtime Lore and Chill. Check out the description for links to the various resources used to make this video. If you have enjoyed this content and would like to see more of it, please like and subscribe.